This is a 2015 Arctic Cat Wildcat Sport, and I've got a broken front left axle on it. So what we're going to do is replace the front left axle and kind of show you the process that goes along with that. It shouldn't be too bad. So what we'll start off doing is we're going to take off the brake rotor, or brake caliper. Brake caliper is a 13 socket. And I know you're not supposed to hang it by the hose, but I am. Next thing we'll do is we'll pull the cotter pin out of the hub. All right, once we got the cotter pin out, the axle nut is actually on there with a bunch of Loctite. So the easiest way to do it is to heat up the nut, and eventually the Loctite will burn out. You can break it off. All right, I've been torching this thing for, I don't know, five minutes at least, and it's finally gotten all the Loctite loose. And it's coming off now. And it's on there. Okay, with the nut broke loose, and obviously I've let it cool down some. It comes off. It's still a little bit hot. I've read on the forums there's supposed to be Loctite in here, which is the biggest reason I tried to heat it up. I honestly don't see any Loctite in here, so maybe the trails and the sports didn't get that. But I will say that without heating up the nut, it wasn't coming off. I mean, it just flat wasn't. But all right, so with all that done, we'll take off the lower shock bolt. That's a 13 nut, 15 wrench, 13 sockets, 15 wrench. Take out the bolt that's pinning the upper knuckle. 13 socket again. So you do all that, and then we can swing this up out of the way. Something like that. And with any luck, this will just pop right out. Alright, because of the wonderful world of video editing, you didn't get to see what I just dealt with. So, this axle is not like a typical axle. Apparently, Arctic Cat has over-engineered the axle, in my opinion. Like on my Razor, you just grab it and jerk it out, and it comes out. There's a cert clip on there, and it just pops out. Well, Arctic Cat isn't built that way. It's got a cert clip on it, but you have to push the axle in and then pull the cup out at the same time. So you push it in, it releases the pin, and then it comes out. So don't just yank on it. There's you're not going to be able to see on the video, so I'm not going to go through the effort to zoom in on it, but the cert clip right here, you push in on this, and as long as you're pushing straight like that, it literally pushes the pin up, which allows the cert clip to go in. And it goes back in the same way. You push in on the cup, insert it, and you're done. So we'll get the teeth lined up, push in on the axle, and it literally just pops right in there. A little jerk, make sure it's in there seated. That's it. It's a hell of a lot easier to do once you figure out how you're supposed to do it. Once we get to that point, it literally is just put it all back together. We'll drop the axle and the knuckle. the upper A-arm back in the knuckle. Put the bolt back in. This bolt works down to 35 pounds. So the next thing we'll do is put the bolt into the lower shock mount. This one also torques down to 35 foot-pounds. I'll do that in a little bit. Put the hub back on. Hub torques down to 200 foot-pounds. Reinstall the brake caliper. Naturally, once you've got this torqued down to 200 foot-pounds, you'll install the cotter pin. The brake bolts, brake caliper bolts also torque down to 35 foot-pounds. Man, that's pretty much it. Put the wheel back on. Steel wheels, I think, are 25 foot-pounds. Aluminum wheels are like 80 foot-pounds. That's it. It's in. So this whole process, start to finish, is the first Arctic Cat axle I've done. And even with my screw up on how to remove the thing, I still did it in less than an hour. It really wasn't that bad. I can't imagine the backs being any worse if you don't have to deal with the knuckle and all that kind of stuff. But there it is. Probably the hardest thing was, two things were the hardest, was probably getting this axle nut off. If you had a really big, maybe a pneumatic impact, it might come off pretty easy. Like I said, I had to heat mine up. I will get it torqued back down to the proper setting. And getting the axle out. Man, once you know how to pull the axle out, it ain't hard at all. Remember, push in to release the circ clip and then pull out on the cup. That's it. Enjoy.